Hi, David Tubb here. We're going to be talking about the nose ring tool, its advantages, how to set it up, a whole bunch of things that you really need to know. I cannot stress enough to read the written literature and watch both of the videos that have to do with the nose ring tool. Right? The nose ring tool, when you buy the license to use it, comes in this particular configuration. There's the tool. It has the cutter head, and there's the cutter head that's already screwed in it with its carbide inserts. We take great pains to make sure that it's in there tight. You can see how you can actually loosen it. If you had a hold of the shaft, you can break it loose, but there's really no maintenance needed on the cutter head. The maintenance that you need to perform on it occasionally is to put a drop of oil right here, let's say, and you're running it, and a drop of oil right here when you're running it. Okay? Just on occasion, a little drop of oil. The stop collar on the back is preset. I would suggest don't mess with it. So the cutter head comes with the unit installed. You'll notice it has threads here. It's very important that you always, if I have an old toothbrush, I do this and I blow it out and I keep the threads clean. The same goes with the bullet collar. There's a bullet collar, and every time I go to use it, I brush them off and I blow them. And a drop of oil on that will not hurt a thing on the threads. If the bullet actually sticks in the bullet collar, go get you a brass brush that's, that accommodates the hole size. Stick it in there and push it around a little bit and blow it out, and that usually fixes your problem. Okay, sometimes you see that occasionally. So that's really the only tool that you need to do this. When you receive your nose ring tool, it will come also with the bullet collars. And the bullet collar is obviously, it goes around the nose of the bullet. I can unscrew one. You see the two 1/8 inch dowel pins you get with it, and then this is a 30 caliber bullet collar. And how do I know it's a 30? Because on the bottom it says 30. Right. So if you buy the whole set and you look at the bottom of how they come packed, a 33, a 30, a 7. I didn't put a 25 in here, but I have 25s. A 6.5, a 6, and a 22. Right. So you have to buy the collars, the bullet collars individually. The nose ring tool is sold by itself, the license to it. Now we talk about, and you can do the bullet when it's set up. You can see how it holds it in there. You can also do loaded ammo. So here's this is a Mark 316 round. The main thing is so that the neck of the case does not hit the bullet collar. And this one does not. It clears. You can spin it around. You can see gold, the gold of the bullet all the way. But you can do loaded ammo, or you can do just single bullets. Let's show you how to kind of set that up and do it. The nose ring tool itself is adjustable in 1/1000th increments. So if you break this loose, this tightens up to itself. Okay. By the way, each one comes with its own serial number. Then you're able to dial this in to the depth that you're going to allow the stop collar to cut up and the cutter head to cut into the bullet. Right. And probably the biggest hurdle you'll come up with is how to exactly set it up bullet to bullet to bullet. If I only had one choice for accuracy, if I was trying to uniform the drag function of the bullet, I would cut a 25/1000th collar, or 25/1000th nose ring cut, excuse me, on the bullet. If I was going to hunt with it, I would probably lean more towards a 50/1000th cut. And you go, well, what do the different cuts do? Well, depending on the shape of the bullet, it may decrease the drag of the bullet, and it typically would, let's say it decreases it on on a 25 thousandths cut, it decreases up about 10 G1 points. And on a 40 thousandths cut on some bullets, it doesn't make any difference on the drag, and I'll get to that. But if a 40 or a 50 thousandths cut on a closed nose bullet, a pointed bullet, may decrease the drag of the bullet up to 25 G1 points, basically, right? But the lethality of the bullet, the idea behind a nose ring is, yes, it uniforms the drag function of the bullet to the target, much like a me-plat, but in a little different form, okay? But it also weakens the nose of the bullet to the point that when it hits the target, it can either be knocked off, or the tip will fail and the bullet will tumble and or blow up, and or the tip may implode into the lead core and cause a dynamic expansion. Okay? You'll see that. I had one fella ask, I said, so what do you think? He goes, well, I've shot them over the target at the 1,000. He said they were fantastic for elevation. He said, and I saw what they did to pigs. He says, I'm in. Just get one to me as quick as you can. So when we set this up for a bullet or a loaded round, either, and we'll start with the loaded round, we pick a 30 caliber because we're going to do a 308, and we screw it in. Of course, keep the threads clean here and the threads clean here because you get little shavings with this as you go. So we'll turn it in, and then you can hold on to this and this, and that's tight. Put those back where you got them. And then to set it up for the loaded ammo, there's a loaded round. Make sure, obviously, that it clears here. The case neck is not touching. If the case neck is in fact touching, like it would be on a 223 round, depending on the length of the bullet. Here's a 223, and here's a 22 right there, bullet holder. Okay. Well, what you see there is the neck hit right away. All right. It doesn't fit in there with the darn. All right. Well, if you'll let us know, or if you want to send us a loaded round, a couple of loaded rounds, you don't necessarily have to be loaded ammo, but seated the right depth, then for like 25 bucks, we will alter the nose ring before we send it to you so that it ends up like this. Now there's the bullet, all right? And that way, you push it in there, the bullets, you can see that that one's got a nose ring on it, okay? And so the bullet's nice, and we accommodate for the neck, basically. And really what you want to do is you have a couple of surfaces here. You've got a surface at the very front, or a smaller diameter on the ID, and then you have the diameter of the bullet in there. And so you're centering the bullet based on the stoppages or the interference with the bullet itself. The neck is actually got clearance all the way around it. All right, loaded ammo. How do you set it? I put the loaded round in there. There's not a nose ring cut on it at this point in time. And I run the tool so that it would be closer to 0. Okay, if you look at you can see that it's an integrated line, or it continually gets bigger. Obviously, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's in 25. This is all in 25 thousandths increments. So there's 0, you see that one, and then there will be one mark. You can see that that's a 50. You see the little 50 thousandths mark. So if I go in another 25, which would be there, it breaks in between the 0 line and the 50 line, so you can tell which revolution you're in. So now if we go another revolution, we'll be to the 0 line. See, in fact, it's kind of tough to get there. We try to get where it bottoms out there, right? So we move that in, and then we move the back in. I'm holding on to the shaft, okay? And I got to hold on to the front too to move this in, so that I can set up the depth of this cut. All right. So I'm going to turn this back upside down, and if you look right here, you see how far away I am. This is the stop collar. Stops against the back. So what do I need to do? I need to move this out until I can feel it touch. You can also do this with a bullet in it. You got to push down here and hold it static and turn this, the back little setup. And then if you'll be very gentle when you get close, you'll feel it stop. I felt that run into it right there. Right there, feel it? Just kind of stopped. Right? So at that point in time, you know that the cutters are just touching the bullet. And so let's say we want to make a 25 thousandths cut. And by the way, there's the Tubb logo and or the serial number. Since this is in 25 thousandths of revolution, every revolution here goes 25 thousandths. So if you were just going to set up and shoot targets, and I suggested a 25 thousandths cut, you hold on to this, and you take this, and you just go in one complete revolution, and that's a 25 thousandths cut. Now, you've got to lock this collar against this one to make the 25 thousandths cut. So I would hold the shaft in the back, and I'd spin this down, and I'll have a number, or I'll have a reference number for this. You bring it down, snug it up, right? And so my reference number for this one would be 2, and that would be 12. Okay. So we've set the cutter for the stroke, so it will cut a 25 thousandths cylinder section cut. Of course, it cuts in cylinder cut, and then it 45s off the back. We decided that this was 2 and 12. Okay, because if you break this loose, go back to here, there's 2. Okay, so that would be repeatable, but you can also reset it each time if you like by, let's say, going in a little more, turning it upside down with this, with a loaded round and or the bullet. Okay, you put the bullet in there just like that. Right? We're doing the bullet right now, so I mean the loaded round right now, so we'll go back to that one. And what did I do? I pushed the cutter, I pushed this down. You can see that the stop collar is not bottomed out. You can visually see that, all right? I hold it here and I turn this, then move the adjustment body out toward the stop collar. And you can feel it start. See, the whole thing wants to turn there, okay? Very easy to stop. So that's the bottom. The dead bottom. Move this to a dead bottom. Be very gentle. If you're really strong about it, you may just blow yourself right through there and not be able to feel it. But it's reasonably easy to feel. I'll show you. Right here, I'm pushing down and just gently turn it. It's like I hit a brick wall. It stopped. Now, I'm going to cut 25 thousandths. That's what we talked about. So I could run this all the way down and mess with 25, but every revolution is 25. So you see the Tubb logo. So if I just spin that into the Tubb logo, I went 25 thousandths. So I could set it up using that. And then once again, I can come down here, and I believe the last time we decided it was about 212, you know, and I'm within 2 or 3 thousandths of where that was, okay? And 2 or 3 thousandths is close enough. If you get it within 2 or 3, you can call it good. It doesn't have to be exactly the same every time, all right? So there's a 25 thousandths cut. Now, I'm going to power this up to make the cut with a drill gun. And a high-speed drill gun's really good. So if I was just doing loaded ammo, I'd sit here and hold on to the drill gun. I would take the loaded round and insert it there. Would take my hand, my right hand, put it here, and I would hold the tool. Because if I don't hold this, it'll spin, all right? It'll spin. But here's the key, is it'll spin, but you can stop it. The shaft will spin and the tool will quit. Watch. See that? Stop with my fingers, okay? Of course, there's going in. So, if I load it around, of course, back to that, got it, then I'm not going to just turn this on and run it. I'm going to run it each individual round. So, I put my hand there and I grab this. Turn it on. And there's a 25 thousandths nose ring cut. on that 175 grain Sierra. It's very uniform all the way around. It's 25 thousandths deep in length, the cylinder section cut is, and it 45's off the back. Okay. In this particular bullet, which has got a me-plat, you can cut a 40 thousandths nose ring and not affect the drag function of the bullet at all because it's got a me-plat in the front. But you didn't affect the drag function, but you affected definitely with a 40 thousandths nose ring cut the terminal effects of the bullet. So now that was 25, so if I wanted to cut at 40, what would I do? I don't have to do any more setup per se. I know that here's my mark, which was 25. So if I break it loose and I go in another 15, well, that's pretty easy to do. There. And then I hold on to this and I move the back portion forward. Now I'll cut with the same setup. I can cut the 40. Okay? There's a 40 thousandths nose ring cut. It's very evident the difference. And it's very evident on a target when you shoot it, what it will do. Like I said, 25 is a good pick for a target bullet. If it's all you're trying to do is uniform the drag function, but if you're trying to make it where it's lethal, there's a 40. Right? And of course, you'd take this out and change to other calibers. If I was just doing the bullet, and I'm going to reset this back to 25. You can, once you got your numbers here, you can go back and forth. I'm going to break it loose. It's kind of, it's a bit snug, okay? And I have to hold on to this, and I know I'm just move this a couple, 3 turns. I'm going to go back out 15, okay? Which is going to shorten the shaft movement, okay? There's 15. Bring it back up. Snug it. All right, now I'm going to do the bullet. Here's a 175. Right, this is Sierra bullet, and if I was going to do bullets, probably what I would do is I would lay the drill gun on the side, okay? And here's a zip tie. If I take the zip tie, put it around it, snug it up, and I put it on the ground or on the bench, excuse me, use the set, okay? And I run it. See, this can't spin because it makes it where it works really well. You can do loaded ammo that way too, but the whole unit won't spin. This is very stable. So I hold on to the bullet and I get the drill gun running, and then I just push the bullet in, and if you can feel it cut, all right? You can feel when it quits cutting. This is a very good run out tool. Basically the run out on these is on normal ones is just over 1/1000ths, okay? And you can't see the 1/1000ths when you spin the bullet around. But this is a precision bearing setup and all done in one op and so on and so forth. I'll go ahead and cut the bullet. I'm holding on to the bullet and run the drill gun to full power. I could feel it quit cutting, okay? And the bullet should come right out. And once again, there's a 25 thousandths nose ring cut on that bullet, right? And if you set this, you can set this where you could cut 75 thousandths on it, or 8. You can cut it so far with the stroke that you've got that you cut into the lead core, which is too far. Okay? Something else to remember is this tool is designed for either a plastic tip or a normal bullet that is drawn. This is not a plastic tip, of course. Drawn from the back forward. If you see lead in the back of the bullet, so it was made from the front to the rear, the nose ring tool is not designed for that. Because if you cut this and make this too fragile on the front, you shoot it, all the pressure will take the lead core and squirt it out the barrel, and it would leave the jacket, and that would not be a good thing. So, not recommended for that.